There's a way to love yourself that's older than any modern affirmation, and it's hidden in Zen stories. In the next hour, you won't hear shallow pep talks or quick-fix self-esteem tricks. You'll hear timeless Zen parables and deep Buddhist teachings woven to soften self-criticism, dissolve inner resistance, and guide you back to the quiet truth that you have always been enough. If your heart feels heavy, if your thoughts turn against you, or if loving yourself feels like a mountain you'll never climb, this is exactly where you need to be. So, before we begin, take a moment to like the video, but only if this space brings you warmth. And let me know in the comments where you're listening from and what time it is for you. I love seeing where this moment of self-kindness finds people all over the world. Now, dim the lights. Lie down in the most comfortable position your body knows. Let your breath begin to slow. And gently, let's step through the gate of self-compassion together. Chapter 1. The Lotus in Mud. There is a pond, far from any road. No one tends to it. No gardener visits to clear away the weeds. The surface is still most days, though sometimes rain ripples across it, drawing circles that vanish before you can count them. Beneath that still surface, the water is thick and dark. It smells of decay, of old leaves that have fallen, of seasons long gone. You would not expect beauty to live here, not in a place where light barely reaches the bottom, but there, in the very heart of that murk, something is moving. A stem, thin and determined, pushes upward. It rises through the water that wants to hold it down, past silt and tangled roots, past shadows and the weight of the mud. It doesn't race. It doesn't ask how far it has to go. It just keeps moving toward the surface. And one morning, it breaks through. The stem meets the sunlight, and from it, a lotus opens pure, white, unmarked by the mud it grew through. The lesson of the lotus. In Buddhist teachings, the lotus is a symbol for enlightenment, but it is also a symbol for something more personal, the ability to remain pure in the middle of difficulty. The mud is not an enemy. The mud is part of the lotus's life. Without it, there would be no flower. In the same way, your past, your flaws, your mistakes, the messy, murky parts of your life are not proof that you are unworthy of love. They are the soil in which your growth takes root. Self-love is not pretending the mud isn't there. It is knowing that you can rise from it and that the mud does not cling to the petals you are becoming. Reflection. Think of something in your life that has felt heavy or unlovable. It might be a choice you regret. It might be a way you've spoken to yourself. It might be a part of you that you've hidden from others. Now, imagine that this is the mud at the bottom of your pond. It is not there to trap you. It is there to feed your roots. The more you grow toward the surface, toward light, toward understanding, the more you realize that the mud has always been part of your beauty. Meditation. Cue. Close your eyes, if they aren't already closed. Take a slow breath in, hold it, and let it go. Picture yourself as a lotus stem in dark water. Feel the weight around you, the murk that blurs everything, and then feel yourself rising, slowly, steadily, not forcing, just allowing. You break the surface. The air is cool. The sun is warm. And you open not despite the mud, but because of it. Affirmations. Repeat softly in your mind, or out loud if you wish. I am growing, even when I cannot see it. My past does not define my worth. I can rise from anything. I am worthy of my own love. Chapter 2. The nature of true self-love. Self-love is one of the most misunderstood ideas in the modern world. It is often painted as a mirror and a smile, a set of mantras repeated over and over until you believe them. It's sometimes sold as a performance, as though you must show the world how much you love yourself for it to count. But in Buddhism, self-love is quieter. It's less about how you feel about yourself in a single moment, and more about how you treat yourself over time. It is not loud, It is not boastful. It is a steady hand resting on your own shoulder, even when you are tired or imperfect. The difference between liking and loving: there will be days when you don't like yourself, days when your reflection feels unfamiliar, days when you hear the echo of old mistakes and wish you could be someone else. But liking is not the same as loving. You can love a friend even on the days they frustrate you. You can love a child even when they stumble. And in the same way, you can love yourself even when you're not happy with who you are in this moment. Self-love is not a mood, it is a choice. It is showing up for yourself the way you would show up for someone you refuse to abandon. The Buddhist lens. In Buddhist thought, love, or metta, is boundless. It has no requirement, no application form, no test to pass before it can be given. When you direct metta toward yourself, it is not a reward for being good enough. It is an acknowledgement that you are already part of the fabric of life, already worthy of kindness, simply because you exist. Imagine the sun. It does not choose who to shine on based on merit. It does not withdraw its light because a seed is still buried in the ground. It shines because shining is its nature. Self-love is the same. It is not earned. It is your nature, but you must remember it. A gentle shift. So, how do we remember? By noticing the small ways we can be kinder to ourselves in daily life. It might be choosing to rest instead of pushing through exhaustion. It might be speaking to yourself in a tone you would use for a dear friend. It might be forgiving yourself for something that has lived in your mind for years. This is not indulgence. This is care. And care is what makes love real. Guided loving kindness, metta meditation. Close your eyes now. Breathe in slowly. Hold. Exhale gently. Picture yourself sitting in a quiet garden. The air is soft. A breeze moves through the leaves. In front of you, a small light begins to grow warm, golden. That light is love. It begins in your chest, small but steady. With each breath, it expands, filling your body. Now, silently repeat to yourself, may I be safe, may I be healthy, may I be peaceful, may I be loved. Say it as though you mean it, and if you can't mean it yet, say it as though you are learning how. The quiet truth: you do not need to deserve this love. You do not need to be perfect before you receive it. The truth is simple. Your worth is not up for debate. Even the lotus in the mud doesn't argue with itself about whether it deserves to bloom. It simply rises, and in rising, it proves the point. Chapter 3. The Monk Who Hugged the Rain. There was once a young monk who lived in a temple high in the mountains. The temple was peaceful most of the time, but in the rainy season, storms would sweep over the valley without warning, loud, heavy, unrelenting. When the rain came, the other monks would hurry inside. They would slide the doors shut, sit in the meditation hall, and wait for the clouds to pass. But not this monk. When the storm arrived, he would step outside. He would walk slowly into the courtyard, lift his face to the sky, and open his arms as if welcoming an old friend. The rain would soak through his robes. Cold drops would cling to his skin. The wind would push against him. And still, he stood there, eyes closed, breathing deeply, letting the storm touch every part of him. When the abbot finally asked him why, the monk smiled and said, "Why should I only love the sunshine? The rain is part of the mountain too." The hidden teaching. This is how self-love works. We often believe we can only love ourselves when the weather inside us is sunny, when we feel confident, happy, at peace. But storms are part of us too. Sadness, anger, fear. They are not signs that you are broken. They are passing clouds. And if you can stand in the rain without turning away from yourself, you are practicing the purest form of self-love. Embracing the inner storm. Think about how you usually respond when hard feelings arrive. Do you run indoors, closing the shutters? Do you distract yourself, hoping the storm will pass quickly? Or do you, like the young monk, step outside, allowing yourself to feel without judgment? Loving yourself means you do not disappear from your own life when the weather changes. It means you can sit with your sadness without drowning in it, hold your fear without letting it control you, and notice your anger without letting it burn everything around you. Meditation. Q. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture a gentle rain falling all around you. You don't need an umbrella. You don't need to run. The drops are cool, cleansing. Each one is a thought, an emotion, a memory. Some are heavy, some are light. But you don't need to stop them. Just stand there, breathing. Let the rain fall. Let it touch you, knowing it will pass. Affirmations for emotional acceptance. Silently repeat, I welcome every part of myself. My emotions are not my enemies. I can stand in the rain and still be whole. I love myself in all weather. Chapter 4. The art of being gentle with yourself. There is a kind of strength that does not roar. It does not announce itself. It does not demand to be noticed. It lives in the quiet way you choose to treat yourself when no one else is watching. Being gentle with yourself is not weakness. It is a form of discipline. The discipline of refusing to be your own enemy. Why? We're hard on ourselves. Many of us have learned to be our own harshest critics. We think it will make us better. We believe that if we push ourselves harder, speak to ourselves with less patience, and hold ourselves to impossible standards, we'll finally earn our own approval. But harshness doesn't create growth. It creates fear, and fear is a poor teacher. In Buddhist thought, the mind thrives under compassion, the way a plant thrives under sunlight. Criticism may force temporary action, but kindness creates lasting transformation. The friend test. When you catch yourself speaking unkindly to yourself, pause. Ask, would I say this to someone I love? If the answer is no, then you've just discovered the first doorway to self-gentleness. Change the tone. Offer yourself the same patience you would offer to a friend who is learning, stumbling, and trying again. Small acts of gentleness. Gentleness doesn't have to be grand. It can be as simple as taking a slow breath before you react, letting yourself rest without guilt, speaking to yourself in softer words, allowing mistakes to be lessons instead of punishments. These are not luxuries. They are the foundation of self-love. Meditation cue. Close your eyes. Place one hand on your heart. Feel its rhythm steady, constant, working for you without needing your permission. Whisper to yourself, it's okay. I'm learning. I'm doing my best. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. Feel your body receive the message that it is safe with you. Affirmations for gentleness. I am allowed to be kind to myself. My worth is not measured by perfection. I choose patience over punishment. I am my own safe place. Chapter 5. The Empty Cup of the Heart. There was once a student who travelled many days to reach the home of a well-known Zen teacher. The student had read countless books, memorized endless quotes, and filled his mind with everything he could find about self-love and inner peace. But still, he felt something was missing. When he arrived, the teacher welcomed him with a nod and motioned for him to sit. Before the student could speak, the teacher began to pour tea. The cup filled quickly. The teacher kept pouring. The tea spilled over the edge, running onto the table, dripping to the floor. Stop, the student cried. Can't you see the cup is full? The teacher smiled. Just like this cup, you are full of your own ideas and judgments. There is no room for anything new. Empty your cup, and then we can begin. The hidden lesson. When it comes to self-love, many of us are like that student. We are already full, but not with love. We are full of old voices, old rules, and old beliefs about our worth. There is no space for kindness to take root, because every corner is crowded with the noise of, I'm not enough, I should have done better, I don't deserve this. Emptying the cup means letting go of these thoughts long enough to create space, not erasing your mind, but loosening your grip on the stories that hurt you. The space to receive. Imagine your heart as a room. If it's cluttered with heavy furniture you no longer use, There's no room for sunlight to enter, no space to welcome anything new. By clearing just one corner, by setting down even a single heavy thought, you make space for something softer to come in. Maybe it's peace, maybe it's self-forgiveness, maybe it's the quiet realization that you are already worthy. Meditation cue. Close your eyes. Picture a cup in your hands. It is heavy with dark, stale water. This water is every harsh word you've spoken to yourself, every self-judgment you've carried. Now, slowly tip the cup. Watch the water pour out, emptying into the earth. When the cup is empty, hold it open to the sky. Rain begins to fall fresh, clear, cool. Your cup is filling again, but this time with love. Affirmations for making space. I release the beliefs that no longer serve me. I create space for love to grow. My heart is open and ready to receive kindness. I am worthy of new beginnings. Chapter 6. Letting go of self-criticism. Self-criticism can feel like a constant companion. It walks beside you in quiet moments. It whispers in the pauses. It turns small mistakes into long stories. Stories you tell yourself again and again until you believe them. But here is the truth. These stories are not you. They are thoughts. And in Buddhism, thoughts are like clouds. They pass. They are not the sky itself. Impermanence and freedom. One of the central Buddhist teachings is anicca impermanence. Nothing stays the same. Not joy, not pain, not even the voice of self-criticism. When you see your thoughts as temporary visitors, you stop building a home for them. You stop decorating the walls with their words. You learn to let them come and go. Self-love grows in the space left behind when those voices fade. Why we hold on. We often think that if we stop criticizing ourselves, we'll lose control, that without the pressure of self-judgment, we'll stop growing. But self-criticism doesn't make you better. It makes you afraid to try. Growth comes from curiosity, patience, and compassion. The same way a garden grows from sunlight and water, not from being shouted at. A river for your thoughts. Imagine your self-critical thoughts as leaves floating on a river. You don't need to grab them. You don't need to push them away. Just watch them drift past. Some will sink quickly. Some will float for a long time. But none will stay forever. Meditation. Cue. Close your eyes. Breathe in slowly and let it out. Picture yourself standing by a gentle stream. Every self-judgment you carry appears as a leaf in your hand. Place the leaf on the water. Watch it drift away. Repeat, one leaf at a time, until your hands are empty. Affirmations for letting go. My thoughts are not my identity. I release the voice of self-criticism. I choose compassion over judgment. I allow myself to grow without fear. Chapter 7. The mirror that sees without judging. There was once a monk whose main duty at the temple was to polish an old bronze mirror. It hung in the meditation hall, framed in carved wood, so large that it reflected the entire room. Every morning, before the others awoke, the monk would carry a small cloth and quietly begin his work. He never hurried. He never scrubbed too hard. He would simply wipe away the dust, the fingerprints, the faint marks left from the day before. One morning, a younger monk asked, "Why polish it every day? It looks the same as yesterday." The elder monk smiled. "The mirror will always gather dust. That is life. But if I tend to it daily, I will always see clearly, without adding my own stains to the glass." The reflection within. Our minds are like that mirror. They reflect who we believe we are. When dust collects in the form of self-criticism, shame, or old labels, we stop seeing ourselves as we truly are. Self-love is the act of polishing that mirror, day by day. It doesn't mean you erase every flaw. It means you clear away the judgments that distort your reflection. Seeing without judgment. When you stand before a mirror, it doesn't insult you. It doesn't say you should be taller, happier, or better. It simply reflects what is. Imagine looking at yourself that way. seeing without the extra weight of opinions, not denying your imperfections, but not letting them be the only thing you see. Meditation. Q. Close your eyes and picture a mirror in front of you. It is dusty, hazy. You can just barely make out your face. Now, imagine taking a soft cloth, perhaps it is warm from the sun. With slow, gentle circles, you wipe away the dust. Your reflection becomes clearer, softer, not perfect but real, and in that reflection, you see someone worth loving exactly as they are. Affirmations for clear seeing. I see myself with kindness. My worth is not diminished by imperfections. I choose clarity over criticism. I am worthy of my own gaze. Chapter 8. Loving the parts you hide. We all have rooms in our inner house where we rarely go. The doors are kept closed. The curtains are drawn. Inside are the parts of ourselves we don't want others to see, and sometimes the parts we don't want to see ourselves. Maybe it's a mistake you've never forgiven, a weakness you've tried to outgrow, a hurt you think you should have gotten over by now. These hidden parts sit quietly in the dark, waiting, not to hurt you, not to shame you, but because they long to be acknowledged. The Buddhist view of wholeness. In Buddhism, we are not asked to erase the shadow. We are asked to see it clearly, to understand that wholeness is not the absence of darkness, but the integration of all we are. The lotus does not bloom by rejecting the mud. It blooms because of the mud. In the same way, self-love grows deeper when you can sit beside the parts of yourself you've avoided and simply say, I see you, and you belong here too. Why we hide? We hide because we fear rejection from others, from ourselves. We believe that love is conditional, and that if certain truths are revealed, the love will disappear. But the love we are building here, the love you are learning to give yourself, is not that fragile. It can hold your fears. It can hold your anger. It can even hold the moments you wish you could erase. Meditation. Q. Close your eyes and picture yourself in a quiet hallway. There is a door at the end, a door you've never opened. You walk toward it. Your hand rests on the handle. You breathe. When you open the door, you see a small figure in the corner. It is you, at your most vulnerable. Perhaps it is you as a child. Perhaps it is you from a moment of deep hurt. You walk over and sit beside them. You don't rush. You don't speak too quickly. You simply place a hand on their shoulder and say, you don't have to hide anymore. You are safe with me. Affirmations 4. Embracing the hidden self. Every part of me is worthy of compassion. I no longer abandon myself. My shadow and my light belong to the same whole. I am safe to be all that I am. Chapter 9. The bamboo that bends. In a small mountain village, there was a grove of bamboo that had stood for generations. It was said the bamboo could survive any storm, even the fierce winter winds that tore branches from the tallest trees. One year, a traveller came through during the rainy season. He watched as the sky turned black, and the wind began to roar through the valley. The pine trees swayed violently, and some cracked under the force. But the bamboo, it bowed. It leaned low to the ground, almost as if in deep respect to the storm. And when the wind passed, it stood upright again, unbroken. The traveller asked an old villager how the bamboo survived when the stronger trees fell. The villager smiled. The bamboo survives because it does not fight the wind. It bends, and so it lives. The lesson for self-love. We often believe that strength means standing rigid, never bending, never yielding. But in life, storms come, emotional storms, personal storms, seasons when nothing goes as we hoped. If we demand perfection from ourselves in these moments, we break. If we insist on carrying on as if nothing is wrong, we crack under the pressure. Self-love is the art of knowing when to bend, when to rest, when to release the need to be unshakable. Gentleness as resilience. The bamboo is not weak because it bends. Its flexibility is its strength. In the same way, Allowing yourself to soften during difficult times is not giving up. It is adapting so you can continue. You can say, "This is hard for me right now," without losing your worth. You can choose to take smaller steps or even pause without failing. Meditation cue. Close your eyes. Picture yourself as a tall stalk of bamboo. Your roots are deep in the earth, steady and grounded. The wind begins to blow a challenge in your life, an emotion you wish you could control. Instead of resisting, you bend, you sway, you allow the wind to pass through you. And when the storm is over, you rise again, not the same as before, but still standing. Affirmations for resilient self-love. My strength includes my softness. I allow myself to bend without breaking. Rest is a form of resilience. I love myself through every season. Chapter 10. Becoming a friend to yourself. There is a question worth asking not once, but many times in a lifetime. If I were my own best friend, how would I treat myself right now? Would I speak in a softer voice? Would I listen without rushing to fix? Would I forgive faster, hold longer, and remind myself of the good I sometimes forget to see? Friendship is built on consistency. It's not only about being there in celebration, but also in struggle, showing up when things are messy, uncertain, and unpolished. Self-love is the same. It's not an occasional gesture. It's a lifelong friendship with yourself. The qualities of self-friendship. If you think of the best friend you've ever had, or the one you wish you'd had, certain qualities come to mind. Patience, allowing space for mistakes and growth. Honesty, telling the truth without cruelty. Loyalty, not abandoning the connection when it's tested. Encouragement, reminding you of your worth when you forget. Now, imagine offering these qualities inward every single day. Buddhist wisdom on companionship. In Buddhist teaching, the greatest companion you will ever walk with is your own mind. If your mind becomes an enemy, the road feels endless and harsh. If your mind becomes a friend, even the longest journey can feel lighter. Loving yourself is choosing to be a kind companion to your own thoughts, to notice when they wander into dark places, and gently guide them back toward light. Daily acts of self-friendship. Friendship is not kept alive through grand gestures alone. It's kept alive through small daily acts, taking time to listen to your own needs. Speaking, encouraging words to yourself in the mirror, allowing rest without the need to earn it, celebrating even the smallest victories. These are not selfish acts. They are the maintenance of the one relationship you are guaranteed to have for the rest of your life. Meditation cue. Close your eyes. Place a hand over your heart. Imagine that your hand belongs to your best friend, warm, steady, reassuring. Hear their voice in your mind saying, "I'm here. I'm proud of you. I'm not going anywhere." Now, realize that this voice can be your own. It has been yours all along. Affirmations for lifelong self-friendship. I am my own safe place. I choose to stand by myself, no matter what. My love for myself is steady and loyal. I will never abandon me. Chapter 11. The Candle and the Wind. In a small village, a candle burned each night in the window of a tiny home. Its light was soft but steady. Travelers passing through the valley would see it and know that warmth and shelter waited inside. One evening, a strong wind swept down from the mountains. It rattled the shutters, howled through the cracks, and threatened to snuff out the flame. The woman who lived there quickly cupped her hands around the candle. She didn't hide it away in a closed box. She knew the flame needed air to breathe. Instead, she shielded it just enough to keep it alive until the wind passed. By morning, the storm was gone, and the candle still burned. The lesson for self-love. Your self-love is like that candle. It is your warmth in the dark, your quiet guide when the path is unclear. But it lives in a world where winds will come in the form of criticism, disappointment, and doubt. Protecting your self-love does not mean hiding from the world. It means knowing how to shelter your heart while still letting life in. Gentle protection This might mean stepping away from voices that diminish you. It might mean pausing before you take on the weight of someone else's opinion. It might mean reminding yourself again and again that your worth is not up for negotiation. You are allowed to shield your light until the winds pass. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. Meditation cue. Close your eyes. Picture your self-love as a small flame in the center of your chest. Feel its warmth radiate outward. Now imagine the wind rising challenges, harsh words, old doubts. Cup your hands around the flame. Protect it. Keep it alive. And when the wind eases, let your hands fall open. The flame grows brighter, freely lighting the space around you. Affirmations for protecting your inner light. My self-love is a light worth protecting. I can stay open to life without letting it blow out my flame. My worth is steady, even in the wind. I choose to shelter my heart with care. Chapter 12. The voice you listen to. Inside each of us, there are many voices. Some are gentle, patient, and kind. Others are sharp, impatient, and unforgiving. The gentle voice is the inner guide. It wants to help you grow, but it never uses cruelty to do it. The sharp voice is the inner critic. It believes that if it keeps pointing out what's wrong, you'll finally fix yourself. But here's the truth. The voice you give the most attention to becomes the one that shapes your life. Hearing the difference. The inner critic speaks in absolutes. You always mess things up. You'll never get it right. You're not enough. The inner guide speaks in possibility. You made a mistake, but you can try again. This is hard, but you're learning. You are worth loving, exactly as you are. One voice drains you, the other supports you. One voice keeps you small, the other helps you grow. Choosing your teacher. In Buddhism, the mind is like a field. Whatever you water will grow. If you give your attention to the critic, you grow weeds of self-doubt. If you give your attention to the guide, you grow flowers of self-trust. The critic will not disappear overnight, but you can stop inviting it to sit at the head of the table. Meditation cue. Close your eyes. Imagine sitting in a quiet room with two chairs in front of you. In one chair sits your inner critic. In the other, your inner guide. The critic's voice is loud, constant. The guide's voice is calm, steady. Which one will you turn your chair toward today? Affirmations for choosing your inner guide. I choose to listen to the voice that supports me. My inner guide is stronger than my inner critic. I water the seeds of self-trust. I am the one who decides which voice leads my life. Chapter 13. The Stone in the River. There was once a large stone resting in the middle of a river. It had been there for centuries. The water rushed around it every day, cold in winter, warm in summer, full of leaves in autumn, clear and fresh in spring. At first, the stone resisted the water. It braced against every current, fighting to stay the same. It saw the river as an intruder, always moving, always demanding space. But over the years, something began to change. The river never stopped coming, and the stone never stopped standing. And yet, slowly, the sharp edges of the stone softened. Its surface became smooth. Its shape became easier for the water to flow around. The stone hadn't been defeated by the river. It had been shaped by it. The lesson in softness. We often treat love, especially self-love, the way the stone first treated the river. We resist it. We don't believe it's safe to let it touch us. We hold our sharp edges close, thinking they'll protect us. But love, like the river, does not have to be forced. It flows naturally when we stop fighting it. And over time, it softens us not to make us weaker, but to make us more open. Letting the river in, allowing self-love, doesn't mean you lose who you are. It means you let the current of kindness move through you, carrying away some of the hardness you've had to build to survive. The stone remains the stone, but it no longer stands in the river as a barrier. It stands as part of its flow. Meditation. Cue. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself as the stone. Feel the weight of your presence, solid and grounded. Now, hear the river steady, gentle, flowing. It moves past you, touches you, surrounds you. With each breath, your edges soften just a little more, and you realize you are not being worn away. You are being shaped into something beautiful. Affirmations for softening resistance. I allow love to move through me. My openness is my strength. I can soften without losing myself. Self-love flows to me and through me with ease. Chapter 14. The courage to rest. In our world, rest is often misunderstood. We're told it's something you earn after you've done enough, achieved enough, proven enough. We're taught to measure our worth by what we produce, not by the simple fact of being alive. But in Buddhist practice, rest is not a reward. It is a necessity, as natural as the pause between breaths. Without rest, the mind becomes restless, the body becomes heavy, and the heart forgets how to open. The fear of stillness. Many people avoid rest because it feels unfamiliar. When the body slows, the mind begins to speak more loudly. Old thoughts rise, unfinished feelings surface. It can feel safer to keep moving than to sit with what appears. But rest, true rest, is not about avoiding what's inside you. It's about meeting it with gentleness. It's about saying to yourself, I am worth caring for, even when I am not accomplishing anything. The courage to pause. It takes courage to put down your tasks when the world says, keep going. It takes courage to lay your body down in the middle of the day without guilt. It takes courage to give yourself permission to breathe without rushing to the next demand. Rest is not laziness. It is the soil from which your energy, clarity, and love can grow. Meditation. Q. Close your eyes. Let your body sink deeper into where you are. Notice the parts of you that are still holding tension. Breathe into them. Tell yourself, it is safe to stop now. With each breath, imagine setting down one more burden. Feel the relief of not having to carry everything at once. Affirmations for rest. Rest is my right, not a reward. I am worthy of care even when I do nothing. Stillness is strength. I honor my body and mind by letting them rest. Chapter 15. The garden you tend. In a quiet valley, there was a small plot of land surrounded by stones. A woman inherited it from her grandmother, along with a few packets of seeds. At first, she was excited. She planted them all at once, flowers, herbs, and small fruiting plants. For a few days, she watered them carefully. Then, life became busy. She missed a morning here, an evening there. The weeds began to grow faster than the seeds she had planted. The soil hardened under the sun. The plants struggled for light. One day, she stood at the edge of her garden and felt a wave of shame. But instead of walking away, she knelt down, cleared a single patch of weeds, loosened the soil, and poured water into that small space. The next day, she cared for another patch, and slowly, the garden began to change. It didn't happen in a rush. It happened in quiet, steady moments, until it became a place of beauty again. The lesson for self-love. Your inner life is a garden. Self-love is not built in a single day, with one grand gesture. It grows in small, consistent acts of care. Neglect is not the end, it's just a season. You can always return, and you can always begin again, even if all you can tend to today is a single small patch. Daily tending. A kind word to yourself in the mirror. A meal cooked with care. A few quiet breaths before the day begins. Choosing rest without guilt. These are seeds. They may look small, but they change everything over time. Meditation. Q. Close your eyes. Picture yourself standing in the garden of your own heart. Some areas are thriving. Some are overgrown. Choose one small corner. Pull away the weeds. Loosen the soil. Pour water gently. Feel the quiet joy of tending, knowing you will return tomorrow. Affirmations for growing self-love. My love for myself grows through small acts of care. I can always return to my inner garden. Every seed of kindness I plant will bloom in time. I am patient with my growth. Chapter 16. Forgiving your own heart. There are wounds we carry that are not from others, they are from ourselves. The harsh words we've spoken to our own reflection. The times we've pushed our bodies past their limits. The choices we made when we didn't know better. We often find it easier to forgive others than to forgive ourselves. But self-love, without self-forgiveness, is like sunlight without warmth. It reaches you, but it does not sink in. Why we hold on. Sometimes we believe that holding on to guilt will keep us from repeating our mistakes. We think that if we punish ourselves long enough, we will be safer, wiser, better. But guilt that lingers too long becomes a wall, and that wall blocks love from entering. Forgiveness is not letting yourself off the hook. It is letting yourself out of the prison you've built inside. The Buddhist view. In Buddhist teaching, forgiveness is a form of compassion. It recognizes that we are all in a constant state of learning. When you forgive yourself, you are not erasing the past. You are choosing to relate to it with understanding rather than shame. Meditation. Q. Close your eyes. Place a hand over your heart. Feel its steady rhythm, the same rhythm that has been with you through every choice, every mistake, every triumph. Picture your heart as a small child looking up at you. Their eyes are full of apology and fear. Kneel down. Take their hands. Whisper, I forgive you. You were doing your best with what you knew. You are still worthy of love. Affirmations for self-forgiveness. I release myself from the weight of past mistakes. My growth matters more than my guilt. I am learning, and that is enough. I forgive my own heart. Chapter 17. The sky and the weather. High above the mountains, the sky stretches endlessly. Some days it is bright, clear, and blue. Some days it is covered in heavy clouds, and some days it roars with thunder, flashing with light and rain. But no matter what the weather brings, the sky itself does not change. The storms pass, the clouds dissolve, the light returns, and through it all, the sky remains vast, open, untouched. You are the sky. Your emotions are like the weather. They change from hour to hour, day to day. Some are gentle, like a soft breeze. Others are intense, like a sudden storm. But beneath all of them is your true self, steady, open, and constant, just like the sky. Your worth does not shrink when clouds arrive. Your beauty does not fade when the rain falls. Why this matters for self-love. When we mistake our emotions for our identity, we start to believe we are only lovable in the sunshine. We judge ourselves for feeling sadness, anger, or fear. But self-love sees through the weather. It remembers that you are more than your moods. It loves the sky in you, not just the passing weather. Meditation. Q. Close your eyes. Imagine lying in an open field, looking up at the sky. Clouds pass overhead. The light shifts. The wind changes. Now, picture yourself as that sky unshaken, holding space for every change. Whisper to yourself, I am more than this moment. I am the sky. Affirmations for steady self-worth. My worth is constant beneath changing emotions. I am not my storms. I am vast enough to hold all my feelings. I love myself through every kind of weather. Chapter 18. Loving yourself without proof. We are taught, often without realizing it, to measure our worth in evidence, grades, achievements, approval from others, how much we've done in a day. It's as if we must present a list to ourselves before we are allowed to feel loved. But here's the truth. Self-love is not a courtroom. You don't have to build a case for why you deserve it. You don't need witnesses or a stack of accomplishments to justify it. The trap of conditional love. When we tie love for ourselves to performance, it becomes fragile. On days when we succeed, we feel worthy. On days when we stumble, the love disappears. This is not love, it's a transaction. Real love, the kind we are learning here, is steady. It does not bargain with you. It does not ask for proof. The Buddhist view. In Buddhist practice, your worth is intrinsic, woven into your existence like the thread in cloth. Nothing you do can add to it. Nothing you fail to do can take it away. When you see this, self-love becomes a natural state rather than a prize you must win. Living without proof. Loving yourself without proof means waking up and deciding, I am worthy today, no matter what happens. It means treating yourself kindly on the days you feel low, just as much as on the days you feel proud. It's a radical kind of love one that refuses to vanish when you need it most. Meditation. Q. Close your eyes. Imagine standing in front of yourself as you are right now, not the better version you hope to be someday, but the person you are in this exact moment. Place your hands gently over your heart and say, you do not have to prove anything to me. You are already enough. Affirmations for unconditional self-love. I do not need proof to love myself. My worth is unconditional. I am enough in this moment, exactly as I am. I give myself the love I once thought I had to earn. Chapter 19. The Well That Never Runs Dry. In the middle of a wide desert, there was a small village that depended on a single well for water. The villagers drew from it every day for cooking, cleaning, planting, and drinking. One year, the rains failed, the rivers dried up, and the earth cracked under the sun. Many feared the well would soon run empty, but when the villagers lowered their buckets, the water was always there, cool, fresh, and clear. The elders explained that the well was fed by an underground spring deep beneath the desert floor. No matter how dry the surface became, the spring kept flowing. The lesson for self-love. Your capacity for self-love is like that hidden spring. It is not dependent on the weather above, not on how your day went, not on the approval of others, not even on your own mood. When life feels barren, when joy seems far away, there is still a deep source of love within you. You may need to lower the bucket to pause, breathe, and reconnect, but the water is always there. Drawing from the well, sometimes we forget this inner spring exists. We wander in the desert of our own self-doubt, thirsty for a love we think we must find elsewhere. But when you remember the well, you remember that you can drink from your own kindness any time. Meditation. Q. Close your eyes. Picture yourself walking through a dry desert. In the distance, you see a stone well. You approach, lower a bucket, and hear the soft splash of water below. You pull it up and drink deeply cool, refreshing, endless. This is your self-love, flowing from a place so deep it can never run out. Affirmations for inner abundance. My love for myself is a source that never runs dry. I can always return to the well within me. My inner spring flows, even in the driest seasons. I am sustained by my own kindness. Chapter 20. When you feel unlovable. There will be days when self-love feels far away. Days when the mistakes, the regrets, the old echoes of criticism feel louder than anything else. Days when the idea of being worthy seems like a story meant for someone else. In those moments, it's easy to believe the feeling is the truth, but feelings are whether they pass. And worth is the sky it remains, the spiral of self-doubt. When we feel unlovable, our first instinct is often to pull away from others, from opportunities, from ourselves. We try to disappear until we fix what's wrong, but isolation doesn't heal the wound, it makes it deeper. Self-love in these moments is not about convincing yourself you're perfect. It's about staying present with yourself when you feel most flawed. The Buddhist approach. In Buddhist practice, when suffering arises, we meet it with compassion rather than resistance. This means that when the thought, I am unlovable, appears, we don't argue with it or try to erase it instantly. We acknowledge it, breathe with it, and gently remind ourselves, even this thought is not stronger than my true nature. A small practice. On days when self-love feels far away, place your hand over your heart. Take 3 slow breaths. Whisper to yourself, I am here with you. I'm not leaving. These words may feel strange at first, but over time, they become an anchor. Meditation. Cue. Close your eyes. Picture yourself sitting beside your own sadness, as if it were a friend. You don't rush it. You don't tell it to leave. You simply sit there, hand resting nearby, offering silent company. Affirmations for difficult moments. My worth is not erased by my feelings. I can be present with myself in any state. I will not abandon myself, even when it's hard. I am lovable in all seasons. Chapter 21. The Bird Who Stopped Flying. There was once a small bird who loved the open sky. Each morning, it would rise before the sun, wings cutting through the cool air, chasing the horizon. Flying was its joy, its freedom, its way of being. One day, during a fierce storm, the bird was struck by a branch. It fell, bruised and sore, into the safety of a sheltered grove. The bird could still fly, but every movement ached, so it stayed on the ground. It hopped from branch to branch, found berries close by, and listened to the wind from a distance. Some days, it missed the feeling of the open sky so deeply that it hurt more than its wounds. Other birds flew past and called, "Why don't you fly anymore?" The small bird simply answered, "Because I'm healing." And in time, after many sunrises and gentle days, the bird stretched its wings again. They were stronger now, steadier. When it finally took flight, the sky welcomed it back, as though it had never left. The lesson in healing. Sometimes we stop doing the things we love, not because we've given up, but because we are giving ourselves time to recover. Self-love means knowing when to rest and when to rise. It means trusting that the sky will still be there when you're ready. The courage to wait. The bird did not rush. It didn't measure its worth by how quickly it could return to the air. It understood something many of us forget. Healing is also part of the journey. You are not falling behind when you pause. You are preparing to move forward with greater strength. Meditation. Cue. Close your eyes. Picture yourself as the small bird in the grove. The sky is still above you, waiting. Your wings are resting, but your heart still remembers how to fly. Feel the safety of the branches, the softness of the air, the patience in the moment. When you're ready, you will rise. Affirmations for patient self-love. Rest is part of my growth. I do not rush my healing. The sky will be there when I am ready. I trust the timing of my own journey. Chapter 22. The Gentle Warrior. A warrior is often imagined as someone fierce, armoured, and unyielding. But there is another kind of warrior one, whose strength comes from their ability to remain gentle even in the face of hardship. The gentle warrior does not use a sword to cut others down. They use understanding to cut through fear. They do not fight to dominate. They stand to protect themselves, their peace, and those they love. The power of gentle strength. Self-love is the armour of the gentle warrior. It allows you to walk into the world knowing your value without needing to prove it through aggression. It lets you speak your truth without shouting, to hold your boundaries without closing your heart. Gentleness is not the absence of strength. It is strength under control. The Buddhist perspective. In Buddhist teachings, true courage is not found in overpowering others, but in mastering your own mind. The gentle warrior knows when to act and when to be still. They know that compassion is not weakness, but the highest form of bravery. Becoming your own protector. Being a gentle warrior for yourself means defending your inner peace from unnecessary chaos, saying no when something harms your well-being, speaking to yourself with respect, even when you make mistakes. It's not about winning battles. It's about making sure the war inside you comes to an end. Meditation cue. Close your eyes. Picture yourself standing in an open field, calm and steady. In one hand, you hold a shield of compassion. In the other, an open palm of peace. Feel the wind move around you. You are safe. You are strong. You are gentle. Affirmations for gentle strength. My gentleness is my strength. I protect my peace with love, not fear. I stand firm without closing my heart. I am a gentle warrior for myself. Chapter 23. The Lamp in the Window. There was once a fisherman who lived by the edge of a quiet bay. His home was small, but in its front window hung a single oil lamp. Every night, no matter the weather, he lit the lamp before going to bed. It wasn't for decoration, it was for the sailors and fishermen still out on the water after dark. They told him that when the seas were rough and the stars were hidden, the lamp in his window gave them comfort, a sign that someone on shore was still awake, still watching, still keeping the light alive. Years passed. Storms came and went. Some nights were so cold and wet that the fisherman could barely keep the flame lit, but he never let the lamp go dark. The lesson for self-love. Your self-love is like that lamp. It is a light that must be kept burning, not only for the moments when everything is calm and easy, but especially for the nights when it feels dark inside. Even when you feel tired, even when the storms in your mind are strong, keeping that light alive reminds you, I am still here for myself. When the light feels small, there will be nights when your lamp feels dim. That's okay. A small light is still light. Even the faintest glow can guide you through the dark. Self-love is not about burning brightly all the time. It's about refusing to let the flame go out. Meditation. Cue. Close your eyes. Picture a small lamp glowing in a window. Outside, the night is cold and the sea is rough. But inside, the light is steady, warm, and safe. Now, imagine that lamp is in the window of your heart. It will be there every night, no matter the storm. Affirmations for keeping the light. My self-love stays alive, even in darkness. I keep my inner light burning. A small flame can guide me through the night. I am here for myself, always. Chapter 24. Becoming your own home. There is a feeling you get when you step into a place that feels safe. It might be a childhood room, a loved one's embrace, or a quiet corner where the world cannot reach you. Your breath slows. Your shoulders drop. You feel, without question, I belong here. Now imagine carrying that feeling inside you, wherever you go. The Buddhist view of home. In Buddhist thought, the truest refuge is not a physical place. It is the mind and heart at peace with themselves. When you make a home within yourself, you are never truly lost, no matter how far you travel. This home is built with patience, kindness, and forgiveness. It has no locked doors, no rooms where parts of you are not welcome. Every corner says, you belong here. Why this matters for self-love. When you depend solely on other people or places to feel safe, your sense of peace can be shaken. But when you become your own home, you carry safety with you. You can weather loneliness without feeling abandoned. You can face change without feeling uprooted. Building your inner home. To become your own home, speak to yourself with kindness, as you would in a safe space. Forgive yourself when you stumble. Rest when you are tired. Keep your inner light burning, no matter what. These are the walls, the roof, the hearth. Meditation cue. Close your eyes. Picture yourself walking through a warm, quiet home. The floors creak gently under your feet. The air smells familiar. Everything here belongs to you. Every chair, every blanket, every memory. Now feel that same comfort settling in your body. You carry it with you. You are the home. Affirmations for inner belonging. I am my own safe place. I carry my home within me. Every part of me belongs here. I am whole wherever I am. Chapter 25. Closing blessing. You were always worthy. You have walked with me through 24 doors tonight. You have stood in the rain and not run away. You have bent like bamboo, bloomed like the lotus, kept the lamp in your window burning through the night. You have faced the parts of yourself you once hid, forgiven your own heart, and built a home within your own being. And now, as this hour comes to its close, I want to leave you with the truth that has been here all along, the truth every story has been guiding you toward. You were always worthy. Not because you followed every meditation perfectly, not because you said the affirmations out loud, not because you listened without distraction. You were worthy before we began, you are worthy now, and you will still be worthy when the sun rises tomorrow. Laying down the journey, feel your body where it rests. The ground, the bed, the chair, all of it holds you without judgment, without asking for proof of your worth. Let yourself be held. Let your jaw soften. Let your shoulders sink into the surface beneath them. Let your hands rest where they are, without the need to move or do. Tonight, there is nothing left to earn, nothing left to fix, nothing left to become. The circle of self-love. Imagine all the moments we've shared tonight forming a circle around you. The candle you protected from the wind, the garden you tended one patch at a time, the mirror you polished until your reflection came through clear, the well in the desert that never ran dry, the home you built inside yourself. All of these are now part of you, not as ideas, but as quiet truths, ready to rise again when you need them. Breathing into belonging. Take a slow breath in. Feel it expand through your chest, your ribs, your belly. Hold it for a moment, then let it out gently. With each inhale, imagine drawing in warmth, safety, and unconditional love. With each exhale, imagine releasing the last traces of self-doubt, guilt, or heaviness from the day. Breathe like this for a few moments, letting your body know it is safe to rest now. Final words for the night. Before sleep comes, let these words settle into you like soft rain on quiet soil. I am enough, exactly as I am. I am safe to be myself. My love for myself is steady and unconditional. I was always worthy. Let them repeat in your mind like a lullaby. Let them echo until they become part of the rhythm of your breath. Entering the stillness. Now, let the stories dissolve. Let the teachings drift to the back of your mind, like stars behind the clouds, still there, still shining, even when you can't see them. Your breath is slow. Your body is light. You are floating in the gentle space between waking and dreaming. The night is here to hold you. The earth is here to cradle you. Your own heart is here to love you. Sleep peacefully, knowing that you are loved, you are whole, and you were always worthy. Closing blessing, you were always worthy. You have walked through many doors tonight. You have sat beside the lotus in the mud, stood in the rain without running, emptied your cup to make space for love, and looked into the mirror that reflects without judgment. You have met the parts of yourself you once kept hidden. You have learned to bend like bamboo, to let go of the voice that criticizes, and to speak to yourself as a friend. And now, as we come to the end of this hour, I want you to know something not as an idea, but as a truth to carry into your sleep. You were always worthy. Not because you tried hard enough tonight, not because you listened to every word, not because you have finally earned it. You were worthy before you began. You are worthy now, and you will be worthy tomorrow. Resting in enough. Feel the weight of your body against the bed or chair. Notice how the ground, the floor, the earth, they all hold you, without asking for payment, without needing you to prove yourself. You are held simply because you are here. Your breath moves in and out, steady, gentle, unrushed. Each inhale is a quiet reminder, I belong here. Each exhale is a soft release. I am allowed to rest, letting go of the day. Let the events of today dissolve, like writing on the shore being carried away by the tide. You do not need to replay conversations. You do not need to fix anything before you sleep. This is a time for surrender, not because you've given up, but because you've chosen peace over endless doing. A circle of light. Imagine a soft golden light beginning in your chest. It expands slowly with each breath, wrapping you in warmth. It touches your shoulders, your arms, your hands. It moves through your neck, your face, your head. This is the light of your own love, the kind that has no end, no condition, no need for permission. It was here all along, waiting for you to notice. final words for the night. As you drift towards sleep, let these words settle into you, like seeds planted in rich soil. I am enough, exactly as I am. I am safe to be myself. My love for myself is steady and unconditional. I was always worthy. And now, let your eyes grow heavy. Let your breath become slow and deep. Let your body surrender to the comfort beneath it. The stories are complete. The teachings are planted. The night is here to hold you. You are loved. You are whole. You are always worthy. Sleep peacefully and let the dawn find you renewed.